Sometimes when a prospect or a client agrees with you, they're not really agreeing with you. It just seems like they're agreeing with you. Here's what I mean. I was in a coaching call and the person says to me, Victor, I agree with a lot of what you're saying. And he just kept talking. I said, wait a minute. I said, you just said you agree with a lot of what I'm saying. Tell me what you don't agree with. And he just kind of stopped in his tracks. See, that's kind of a filler statement. I agree with a lot of what you're saying. What they're really saying is, I agree with what you're saying, kind of, but not really. And so if I want to get into a deeper conversation with a client, I'm going to stop and say, well, what don't you agree with? Sometimes you'll hear, for example, I agree with most of what you're saying, Victor. Okay, most. What don't you agree with? See, now I'm getting into a conversation. And again, a lot of people use these phrases as almost like automatic responses. And when you hear them as a salesperson, you got to stop and question them. For example, if somebody says, Victor, I hear what you're saying. Now, immediately my brain says, okay, I know you hear what I'm saying, but do you agree with what I'm saying? You see what I mean? People say these things, and they're telling you they don't really agree, even though they're saying they agree with you. One more example. Victor, I can see your point of view. I can see where you're going with this. Okay, if you can see where I'm going with this, do you agree in the destination where I'm going? So what I want you to do is, next time you're in a conversation with somebody, really listen to these things that seem like agreements, but not really agreements. When somebody says, I agree with a lot of what you're saying. I agree with most of what you're saying. I can see where you're going. I hear you, Victor. I really do. And then he says, yeah, but do you agree with me? So be aware when you're in a conversation, don't let a customer get away with saying something like that, because even though they say they agree with you, they're actually disagreeing with you. And what happens is you'll walk out of the room thinking you had a great conversation because it was all agreeable. But the reality is they didn't really agree. They were just trying to be agreeable. Anyway, this is Victor Antonio with another Sales Influence Moment, always reminding you, selling ain't hard when you listen and you know how. Take care.